Hey everybody, it's Bust with Battles with Bust number 611. Today we're doing battle with the Pyromancer and Backpack Battles. And so today will be our last Pyromancer video of the week, our final Offering Bowl item of Offering Bowl week, if you will. And I wanted to give my kind of final thoughts on this week of progress that we've had go through. And to me, the Pyromancer really comes down to one item that you're going to want every game. And so if we pull up the old items here, this is going to be the Thorn Whip, or at its core, the Thorn Whip is where we're going to be going. Some builds will branch off and look to build Flame Whips. Some builds will branch off and look to build Blood Thorns. But one way or the other, you're going to want a Thorn Whip as your main attacky-based item. And where that kind of lends itself to is if you take a peek at the items that the Pyromancer has access to, the Frozen Flame just don't do. To me, the Frozen Flame is still a hot garbage item. To me, the way it works is you need to be building towards Vampiric, but the payoff doesn't hit until after the subclass round, and it's just not guaranteed to hit with any kind of frequency or reasonable timing. And so I don't think it's ever safe to go, and I don't think that the risk reward is better than just the other options in the sense of if I go for Frozen Flame and hit, is it powerful enough to take me to the end of the survival rounds to where if I go with the Frozen Flame and miss, I lose out on a ton of LP. And so Frozen Flame, just don't do it. And then you have two paths after that. If you go towards dragons or if you go towards Friendly Fire, you're going to want the Flame Whip. Both of them want you to scale highly in terms of flames, and so you're going to look to get the Flame Whip along with one or two pineapples to fuel the Flame Whip, and then really kick up the flame generation with both of those. I prefer the Friendly Fire if I don't have an early dragon, the Dragon Nest if I do. Otherwise, you're going to be going towards that Vampiric angle. The way it comes about is you either start with a Hungry Blade or the regeneration items just kind of come. And then the way I prefer to do it is if I have a bunch of vampiric stuff, I'll go for the Dark Lantern. If the vampiric stuff is limited to just like one item, then I'll go for the Burning Banner and basically just use the Burning Banner as a fuel item for the Bloodthorn itself. And so I think these are kind of the main paths that you'll branch down. Again, every single build is going to want a Thorn Whip. The attack speed based ones or the flame based ones are going to want that Flame Whip, and then the vampiric based ones are going to want to build towards a Bloodthorn. The other thing I want to call out is it's more of a global idea with the Offering Bowl. I've made mention a few times of the idea of where you win within this game in relation to stuff like Teamfight Tactics or Hearthstone Battlegrounds, to where first through fourth is a win. You get more LP or more backpack battle points, whatever it's called, for a first place than you would for a fourth, but a third or a fourth is still a win, and a first just gets more points. The thing with most of the first place builds is they may all average out to like a win rate of 3.5 or something, but the high placement ones are going to fail harder, and so the ones that are just barely winning each time usually do it fairly consistently. When they lose, they just barely lose, and so they have a kind of straight trajectory in terms of LP gain, to where the high placement ones have the same kind of trajectory. It's just much more spiky as it makes its way along that average. And to me, the Offering Bowl should just be one of these ones that gets to the survival round and stops. What I find as you get to a lot of the late game builds with the Offering Bowl is it just doesn't do anything, and you often just turn it off and use it as a bad bag. And so if you're looking to like, the real late game powerhouses, things like the Ranger bag coming from the Ranger, the Relic case coming out of the Reaper, these are things that can scale into the late game and push super far into the survival rounds, because the real end game for those builds doesn't really hit until the survival rounds when you have like max bag fill. But as we come and look at the Pyromancer and the Offering Bowl, we're oftentimes just going to turn this off, right? We're going to run out of stuff to throw into the Offering Bowl. Our build is going to be really fine-tuned, and we're going to be looking for specific items and just shooting for economic value is fantastic in round 1, 2, and 3. It's not that great in round 16, 17, and 18, right? Nobody cares how great your economy is in round 18 because the game's about to be fucking done. And so just getting a single point of empowered in the late game isn't that great. And so to me, the Pyromancer should really be focusing on hitting that choice between the survival or quitting or going into the survival rounds and just quitting. It's already hit her power spikes. Her power spike hits super early. You're not going to get anything like super big at the end. It's not to say herp derp I didn't hit I hit a really high roll run. I have the perfect build. I'm going to go into the survival round. Great for you. But I think the average kind of game with the offering bowl should be ending at that survival space. And so, with that out of the way, we got the offering bowl clicked. Let's hit that new ranked game button and see what turns up. And a fairly juicy start here, right? I mean, we've got the spear, we've got the on-sale healing herbs, we've got the on-sale dagger on board with all of that. We do have a bit of a choice here in that do we want to go ahead and like slap in a wooden sword or slap in a pan or perhaps upgrade something. I'm kind of okay with just putting in the wooden sword and then leaving maybe one space up for the spear. I think round one is probably the kind of time to where we could, realistically expect to see. We could realistically expect to see a lot of armor items out of the opponent, having them drop in a what are we looking for here? Like just onion, and being able to shred out that onion's kind of good. And so I think this is okay. We'll leave the shiny shell at home, not necessarily directly upgrade the wooden sword. I don't think I want to dive into daggers this early. And so getting this 14 gold reroll on turn one for 7 mana or $7 seems pretty worthwhile. Hopefully we don't regret that 5 health. But usually in the beginning, if it comes down to blasting through your stamina and dealing big DPS or having a little bit of sustain, you'd rather be blasting, right? You want to be out here guns blazing with these builds. All right, interesting stuff, man. Another set of really high-powered plays here. And so the way I'm kind of looking at this is we just spiked a Pestilence Flask. The dagger with Pestilence Flask is surprisingly good, especially in the early game where a lot of these rounds are going to go to fatigue. And so I'm on board with that. We've also got a on-sale leather armor out here that we want, and whetstones I'm kind of okay with if we're going to look to build up to flaming blades or whatever the wooden sword upgrades to. And so let's pick these up. Let's take a roll. Ideally, we'll find a leather bag, and we did it. We're just rolling as high as you can today. And so no complaints from me. Just keep the high rolls up and running. And so let's see how we want this to look. I want the whetstone out here. We're going to try and find the wooden sword. We want the pestilence flask in, getting some upgrades. I don't think we want to burn through the flame just yet. I don't hate the idea of it, but I think we probably want to lock it as well, and then just put the shiny shell in as something to throw away. Maybe we can re-roll into a different amulet. I do like the armor amulet if it wants to turn up, but this seems pretty powerful to me. Aight, hit that button. Jump on in. Ooh, I should have worn my Chiefs gear today. The big season starts tonight. You get to turn on the old NFL broadcast. Here's how it's going to go. It's going to be a 3-hour broadcast. There's an hour of football, 60 minutes of game time, so you'll get to see that. You're going to get about 45 minutes of talking about Taylor Swift. She probably be at the game. I don't know. I haven't heard the Taylor Swift speculation yet, but you'll probably get 45 minutes to an hour of Taylor Swift. You'll get another half hour of what Travis Kelce is up to, along with probably a little mini segment on his brother, and then the rest of it will just be who's better, Patrick Mahomes or Lamar Jackson. Almost called him Kendrick Lamar Jackson, if you will. And so I'm hype. I'm very excited for it. It's great times when football season's rolling around, and very, very pleased that it's here. But all right, let's jump back in here. There is a leaf badge. I'm not experienced enough with this to know how I feel about the leaf badge, in the sense that critical strike is so important, and this is essentially the only way that the Pyromancer can get critical strike. And to me, one of the premier items you could get with the Pyromancer would be the Critwood staff, actually coming out of the the Ranger playbook, picking up the Critwood staff as a way to just put crit on all of your stuff, and then just be done Rangering for the day. But that's a very expensive route to go. And I don't like the kind of backdoor stuff that you end up with the Pyromancer, in the sense that I'm not a huge fan of the mage builds. Even if we do have this kind of start to where we already have the Pestilence Flask, I just haven't been real impressed with the staff-based builds coming out of the Pyromancer. Now, that might be because I spend a lot of time just jamming brooms into the offering bowl and quitting. Like, I don't really try and min-max towards it very well, but I think we'll let the leaf badge go. If it was on sale, we could look to pick it up, but off sale, I don't really want it. Not super interested in any of these other items as it is. We'll pick up the stone because we can just resell it. I'm mainly interested in trying to find another whetstone here. That strikes me as the big item that we would want. Otherwise, just some stuff on sale is probably what we're going to be looking for. We do have this dumbass recombobulator that this is like item. I've bitched so much about this thing. I hate it so much. Now the new thing that's like really tough for me to figure out is the recombobulator is combining with the poison dagger right now. You can see the attachment here, but if we move the recombobulator up into the bag, I guess this is how you have to tell, right? Since it does the same animation as to whether or not you're eating from the bag or you're eating from the recombobulator. I think this is the way we would tell, right? If you see that we lock the bag and put the recombobulator in, it does bring the thing, the tendrils, the tentacles, if you will, down to the wooden sword. And so I guess that's a way to tell. I just really don't like that. I wish there was a different animation or something. But nonetheless, how do we want to move forward here? Let's get this on sale sword and then maybe take a roll, see if we can't find another bag to go along with it. We do have an on sale healing herbs. Maybe that's just enough for the turn to where we don't necessarily spend money on the leather bag. We just lock it for next round, and then I'll purchase up the flame. I don't think we're really in the position to come in and sell all this stuff. We're not in a big hurry at this point. We're still like fairly strong as early game is concerned, right? This poison dagger is quite good. The leather armor is quite good at this point. I don't think we need to go out of our way to just get those few extra slots filled. Just crush this guy, right? He didn't even break our armor. And then it's like you cringe a little bit. You see if all your weapons are going to blow up. They do not. And cool, we found our thorn whip. And so I think at this point, like I'm kind of interested in just building out the flame whip. We don't have a lot of heart generation at this point since we've sold it all, right? We found it all on sale, so we just threw it right back into the offering bowl. And then I don't have any like hungry blades at this point, and so I'm really on board with just going ahead and loading that one up. I think that'll be strong enough. We do have 2 on sale items out here, which I'm interested in, but we got to kind of figure out how to make all of these bags work. Maybe we just look to... Let's do this. Let's pick up the on sale items and then roll. And then we can just sell something back. Probably just sell back the wooden buckler because it takes up more space. So now we can pick up this this fanny pack that should make things work out a little cleaner. We can put it, say, down here, where the poison dagger is now. Need the dagger up more towards the top. Can put the flames in, and so yeah, my thing with the flame whip is we're gonna want some pineapples. It's very easy to get to the later stages of the game and just not have ways to take advantage of the thorn hits, and so gonna be looking to pick that up here in a bit. Otherwise, let's do this. Let's sell off the that one stone, and then we'll pick up the lump of coal. Make the, I don't know, speed coal, whatever the fuck that's called. Might as well. I think we'll toss in the gloves of haste this round. I don't intend on keeping these for a long time, so it's a reasonable sell. And then the health potion we can just bring in next round. We'll definitely look to just toss it in the offering bowl. All right, good stuff. Again, just high rolling out here. Dude did get a nice bit of armor shred straight through the molten spear, getting those 15 armor negs on hit. Not bad, not bad. We deserve to be set back to our set back just a little bit with the high rolling we did early. But all right, we did pick up the hammer. I had it mentioned to me about the kind of hammer combo that you can do with the piggy banks and hammering down the piggy bank into the coins and then putting the coins into the offering bowl. I dig it. It's just not something we're going to do here. We're nothing towards hammer builds. I don't like hammer builds whatsoever. To me, with hammers, it's good if, say, like this round, say we had a piggy bank out here, we could pull the flame whip because we don't necessarily need it at this point. We could put the hammer in, we could smash up the piggy bank, and then next round we could both offering bowl the hammer and that little bit of money. But I don't think we're really to that stage here. Like, I'm not going to dig for piggy banks, and so I guess we can wait to sell it, but I think we're kind of stuck just selling the hammer this round because I don't want to put it in the bag. It just takes up way too much space and gets in one hit at the beginning of the battle, and so I'm not super interested in that. So let's see. Let's take a roll. Some good stuff here. On sale fanny pack, definitely take. I do want to be picking up oil lamps along the way. Yeah, we'll just go ahead and sell off the hammer. Not quite what we're looking to be doing with this build. And then see if we can't get our friends in these bags here. Something like this. So we got both. Here, this will be better. I'm going to say I'm wanting to get both the oil lamp in a speed bag and the poison dagger in a speed bag. So we pulled that off there. Looks good. Health potion in the thing. I'll take the offering on it. We could roll. It's tough to me in the sense here that as we're getting higher into the game, like we take the roll and then look for something on sale, right? We did manage to hit here, which is kind of fine. Our stamina will be a little fucked at this, but I think it's okay. But it does give us that opportunity to maybe find something else out here. But now we have this full bag. It's 9 gold worth of stuff, so maybe something interesting will turn up. The other thing of note here, there's a heroic potion along with the banana. Probably want to pick this up. It's very expensive to go this route, but as we go down the path of these flame whip builds, it's very easy for us to outspend our mana, especially if we turn this leather armor into a stone armor. All right, round's holding up good. Taking out about half of their health. Just lost our armor. Haven't used our health potion yet. Hopefully we'll be okay. Those poisons were starting to add up. All right, GG, friend. So what do we got? Another fucking hammer. I guess the highest of highs and the lowest of lows today. It's okay. I'm just gonna go ahead and sell it. It's a bit of a bummer, but you know. That's the price you pay sometimes. So let's see here. We got the heroic potion. We got the banana. It leaves us with 6 gold. We'll go ahead and pick up the potion belt, I guess. It's gonna give us the space we need to fit all of this stuff. Now we've gotten to the point. I don't think we want to sell off any of these flames, so I'll just go ahead and lock the offering bowl. Fairly expensive around picking up this this 9 gold heroic potion, but I think it's probably just the kind of price we have to pay here. Would like to find a pineapple though. That's where I feel like we're the only thing we're really lacking here in the early game is picking up that pineapple. Seems like we're still doing okay here. All right, good stuff. Okay, so how do we want to move forward here? Nothing I'm super interested in. Let's just take a roll. Another fairly weak round. We'll pick up the fanny pack. What I tend to think when I start getting all of these fanny packs is I'll probably find ourselves pushing towards dragons. I'm kind of regretting like not picking up a second poison dagger. Right, we've passed on some pestilence flasks, and having like super fast attacky flame whips and poison daggers isn't that bad, but kind of is what it is. The other thing we've been kind of missing up to this point would be blueberries. We do want some, uh, but you know that's the main fuel for the friendly fire build, and we've just seen literally zero. I might have missed one somewhere along the way. Like I do miss things on occasion, but I don't think that's the case here. So for this last set, I think I'm okay with just like the wooden sword and the chili pepper. Like if we've got in our mind that we're gonna be going towards dragons, then I'm a little interested in just starting to sell off some of these flames. We do want some of the flames, right? I do want to eventually build a shield, like a sun shield, and then I do like doing sun shield with a leather armor, or a sun shield with a sun armor. So we need some flames for that, but I don't think we need to stack them like we're going for a friendly fire kind of build, because I think I'm just going to pick dragons here. Now it's kind of tough. Like it's an easy pivot into friendly fire if you just find a like a mana orb. It gives you all the mana you need to pop off with it, but it feels like it's just whenever I have these runs that just have a ton of fanny packs, I tend to find myself wanting to come out and build dragons. What do we got here? We hit a healing herbs. Just the friendly fire at this point just doesn't do anything, which is a bit of a bummer. Like we technically build up some flames, but we don't really use them enough. But again, like we're not that far away from just from just like one mana item would do it. But yeah, I'll pick up dragons. I think it's okay. Look at this. Look at this tempting on sale frozen flame though, huh? No, this won't be doing that. All right, so dragons it is. Ideally, we can pick up a dragon here pretty quick. I do want to get Cap of Resilience, but it's not an immediate need. It's more of a late game item than an early game style of item here. On sale leather armor, I'm okay with for the round, but we need to come into some upgrades kind of quick here. So we've got the leather armor locked in up top. I do want to get this dragon nest on board. Now, I mean, I guess we can kind of rearrange this stuff. Get the flame whip running in 3 bags. We maybe should have done that a little bit earlier, so that it would just like start eating up the strong heroic potion. I haven't paid super close attention to that heroic potion to see if it's going through fast enough. And then we could look to eat the healing herbs here as well. The big thing with eating healing herbs out of the sack is going to be it gets us above 11 gold, right? So I'm not entirely certain how the offering bowl mechanic works, but I think it goes in order to where it creates the flame and then creates the other stuff. And if we want it to create dragon eggs at 10, we need to put 11 gold in the bag. And so with that in mind, we have 7 out of the leather armor. Then we want to get the 4 out of the healing herbs. And so let's clean this up a little bit and make sure we do get that full amount in here. We'll just toss another flame in there as well. Now I do want to get the things turned around here so we can use the other leather armor. And all right, that looks good. Not missing out on any synergies, I think. Just getting that big that big armor synergy right at the start, you know. What's this guy doing? Popping off with the villain swords, huh? All right, well, bit of a bummer. Hopefully we can start to find some of our synergies here, right? We've got a dragon egg turning up finally. We need to get the thorns. Like that's the big thing at this point is we don't have any pineapples to generate the thorns for the flame whip, and so it's kind of tough to fight through here. We've got our dragon egg. You can't really pick and choose. I wish you had a little bit more agency in the choice of these dragon eggs, right? Since we have a small, like, poison start with the poison dagger, and then picking up the emerald egg that turns into the poison dragon. I wish you had a little bit more choice in the matter. It seems like for the most part, you just take every dragon that you see and put them in the bag, and then at the end you might have like one dragon too many if you've kind of high rolled it. And you know, it's nice that the green one turned up, but we don't get a lot of usage out of it otherwise. Okay, so for the remainder of the round, I think we'll just sell off the vampiric sword. It doesn't feel great, it just kind of is what it is. I'm a little interested in picking up the flute. It's not something I want to keep forever, but it should be good for the round. I think it's like we can pick up the flute at 6. Like maybe let's take one roll, see what turns up. Of course, the stone skin potion turns up now after we burnt through the money. All right, let's just lock. Losing that money sucks. All right, whatever. It's just too important. Act like I didn't do that, right? act like you didn't just see me throw away a bunch of money. It's okay though. I do really like picking up these armors here. This gives us a ton of health. We don't have too much stamina drain coming out of the flame whip, and with dragons, the dragons just get to continue to attack all game. They don't care about stamina, so it tends to work out kind of nice. Just getting annihilated by this guy though. It's the second round we've run into molten spears, the bane of our existence. But strong upgrade, definitely got a huge power spike for the round now, right? Picking up both the dragon and the stone armor. I'll pick up the corrupted crystal. Like we need to get our build around stuff, right? We really need that pineapple. We really need more dragons. I do like, you know, a corrupted cap. I talk about that every single game, but we haven't hit on our build arounds here. And so we can continue to roll. Nothing within this. I would like the Draconic Orb, but we don't have the Ruby Dragon to upgrade with it. We can take one more roll here and then still sell off the Corrupted Crystal and purchase a dragon. So let's take a look here. Ruby Egg turns up at the end of the day. I appreciate that. So we'll put the lock in the offering bowl. We'll pick up the weakest of the dragons as it is, but it's better than no dragons at all. Get to continue to upgrade a little bit. Oh, hang on. I want to do my big start doing the big rearrange as well. This is a good a time as any to start getting our dragons in the appropriate place. And so the way that I like to manage these dragons is this. We'll get the dragon pit down first, whatever the fuck this thing is called. You need the 2 hexes on the bottom, right? So we can fit 2 on the bottom, and then you need 2 on the side. So I typically put it here in this space. I'm trying to make it a little bit more visible, but 2 from the left and 2 from the bottom. And then I like to stack up speed bags like this. And so we'll get to put a single dragon in 3 speed bags. And then up on the top side, we'll get to put another single dragon in 3 speed bags. It's going to be this ruby dragon after this turn. We can go ahead and take the time now to get the flame whip in these speed bags, but that's going to be the idea that we carry on with this build. And so we'll just go ahead and get the flame whip in there. We can get the dagger inside. We can get to using that worked out nicely. all of our items fitting in those speed bags well enough, but that's going to be the kind of angle that we'll take with these. Is I want the dragons just coming out and attacking as fast as they can. All right, next round. I'm glad that worked out nicely. I didn't want to do a lot of big super rearranging. We'll probably have to do a little bit more, but it's nice seeing that come together. Starting to stack up the poison fairly high on this guy. Feels good. And he just fucking zinged us at the end. Fucking crits. God, that was so brutal. Look at that. It's like we were both like cruising along toe to toe. We got this edge at 41-8. We toe to toe with the poison. We're both looking good on buffs, and then what did we both? So close. The 11 poison his poison hit right before our poison hit. I'm not certain how that works. Huh. Our poison daggers took them down to 2, and then his oh, just his tusk poker just hit. All right, whatever. It's bullshit. All right, well, Let's continue on. I mean, the pineapple finally turned up at the very end of the game, so let's go ahead and get it in while we can. We can come in and rearrange the bag over here in the way we want. We've got our other dragon inside the double speed bag. That's good. I like to put the oil lamp onto the dragons since they don't run out of stamina. The dragon is always attacking. It's not like we're dealing with any kind of critical strike related stuff, and so always feels pretty safe having the dragons in like that. And then this other stuff will just spread around. We've got we've got the foods touching each other. That's great. Offering bowls not eating anything. Let's move the burning coal down to the dragons as well. It's going to attack just a little bit slower than the flame whip. It may actually be faster with the 3 speed bags, but again, it won't run out of stamina here. Okay, see if we can hold on for a few rounds. We got here a mage reaper that hasn't upgraded the wand yet. Our flames are starting to creep up now. Big power spike getting that pineapple to turn up. Sucks that it took so long for it to get here. All right, so yeah, this is a place where it gets a little tough for me in the sense that I do want to upgrade the ruby whelp, but it's a very expensive upgrade to pull off. Like, we're probably okay with it at this point. And that's you know, if like we roll for a dragon, we're not going to be getting any kind of immediate upgrades to where we will get this immediate upgrade here. So I think that's fine. I'm also leaning towards picking up the leather boots. It's not the strongest item in the world, but we need some power like immediately. With only 1 heart, we need to just push forward as hard as we can. And I do like the empowered that gets picked up with the boots in the sense that we have 4 weapons at this point, and we look to have like 8 or 9 or so, and so just getting those little bits of incremental empowered certainly helps. Jesus, the stamina king over here. Let's see if we can fight through this. He's got a busted blade and a chain whip. Seems like we're kind of okay. Just drank like 1,000,000 potions, and then looks like I think we have enough health to survive a busted blade hit. Okay, made it through the round. Go us. Had another speed bag turn up. That's great. I want the speed bag and I want the Shield of Valor this round. I'm not entirely certain how the how the financials are looking. Do we have to sell off the leather boots at this point? Like, we can sell off the 1 mana. Pick up this. And then I want to upgrade it if we can. So we would have to pull out I definitely want the heroic potion over the boots. And then it's just a matter of, can we get, 2 flames down here? We can technically get to 2 spaces. We just have to pull the chili pepper out. I think that's fine. Let's see if we can't get a decent rearrange out of this. So it's going to be a space something like this. We need well, here. Let's just get everything in here and up and running. Got to deal with the awkward spacing of the flame whip. That's where it's going to get us. We don't necessarily have to be locked into the bottom down here, but oh, that didn't quite go where we want. The other option is kind of turning this way. I guess we can just put the oil lamp on the flame whip for a turn. But this is going to leave us 1 hex off, or we're going to lose a hex this way. I guess, what if we do this? Still have the sun shield on the stuff we want. Get the heroic potion over here. Ugh. Yeah, this is such awkward spacing with this stuff. The other option is to start to move like the speed bags out. I wish we weren't So low in health at this point. What if we start turning stuff this way? Maybe that's the answer. Okay, there we go. That's what we wanted. We got there at the end of the day. Just had to turn the bags around. We got the heroic potion in. It's in the belt, which is nice. The oil lamp would prefer to be on the obsidian dragon, but whatever. We'll come back to that. The shield upgrading is big. Do need to pick up some more flames at some point. I'm curious if this is where we want to just start, say like offering up the poison dagger. It's a little weak at this point, right? We do get like it's on a 3-second cooldown. If it attacks 4 times, that's just 8 poison. It's not a ton. It's like I'm just trying to envision what happens when we eventually get to, say, a holy armor. We won't have the flames to upgrade it if we want. Look at this guy with his fucking 5 dragons. Jesus Christ. Well, good job on those rolls. Let's see if we can get through this. No. It's insane to me. Like this is one of the concepts with the game that I'm not certain of how it actually works, in the sense of, does it just consider that we got to, what is this, round 13, which is 2 hearts from the end? It's just I'm trying to envision how many rounds we actually went through where we would have been kind of eligible to find these upgraded dragons, right? This guy had the 1 ruby dragon and then 4 non. And so I'm trying to think if we went through 4 subclass rounds even at this point. It's a real bummer. He's even got his egg lined up off of the off of the dragon nest. But it's always so frustrating when you have these rounds come about. Like I feel like it just does it by the kind of number of rounds that you've played, and not against people with the same records. I mean, it's, well, what I mean by that is, let's say that you start the game out and you lose 4 rounds in a row. Then once you hit the subclass rounds, you don't have those losing rounds to where you can build up with it, to where the losing with this point, say this guy went 5-0 to the subclass round, however far it is, and then just immediately lost 4. He had those 4 extra rounds to be picking up these dragons, to where we didn't get it. And I assume that that's the way that it kind of goes. You're playing against people that have the same number of hearts as you, or the same like win-loss rate as you, but they didn't necessarily lose at the same round. And it's always a real bummer when it's like you're both going for the same build, and you're like, oh, cool, you had just so much more opportunity to pick up the dragons that we just literally had no chance to find. But nonetheless, a decent run. I think it went okay. I think we got to at least kind of showcase the way that I feel like the Pyromancer should be built. You can see a lot of the similarities coming out of this other guy's build as well, as to where he's got the flame whip and the pineapple generating those flames, and then he's just using whatever dragons he can as they show up to surround the dragon nest. It's essentially what we've pulled off here as well. We immediately dove into the flame whip. We took whatever dragons we could find along the way. I do prefer what we have here, in the sense that we actually have armor. I think it's very, very, very risky to take these builds like you see out of the opposing dragon here, that have literally 0 defense, or their defense, if you want to call it, is the 20 health from the Amulet of Life and then 2 food. That's just not enough. You get smoked by way too many builds. And so I do kind of prefer this idea of having, I typically build stone armor, shield of valor, and then if any other armor items come up, you can kind of make some decisions from there. You typically still want the cap, the crit prevention cap, but I think this is, pretty on point with what you're going to be looking to build the Pyromancer as. You're going to find a Thorn Whip as fast as you can. The Thorn Whip is going to be the key to what you do. If you have early health regen, or if you start with Hungry Blade, then you're going to be digging towards Holy, or you're going to be digging towards Dark. And then if you build the Flame Whip early, you're going to be building towards dragons, or you're going to be building towards the friendly fire. If you have an early dragon, you're definitely going dragons. If you have early mana stuff, you're going to be going friendly fire. The branching just kind of depends on what your build looks like. I don't think one build is better than enough than the other one to just go in force, and so you just kind of path off based on what's presented to you. Especially important as you're using something like as we're using the offering bowl, to where a lot of the decisions are made for you in terms of the items that spit out, right? If like Hungry Blade just spits out early, then you're going to be pathing that way. If things like pineapples spit out, you'll probably try and path towards the Flame Whip. Nonetheless, good stuff. I had fun with that. Hope you did too, because that will do it for us today. So hope everyone enjoyed the video. Hope you maybe learned a thing or two along the way. You had a good time watching. This is Bustin' Weed. Thank you for being here.